Everybody's doing okay today. I want to talk to y'all about something that's been kind of weighing on my mind the last few weeks, and that is, if you guys know or don't know, I have a 5-year-old daughter, just turned 5 last week, but we have been going to a lot of kids' parties at various places the last few weeks. If you guys are familiar with Urban Air, that is the indoor trampoline place where you go in, the kids eat pizza, eat a lot of cake, get hyped up on sugar, and run around, hop up and down. There's little jungle gym type things. There's ball pits. There's little adventure things for them to do. Some of the like ninja like skills test things that they have. So it's kind of a fun place to go. And after she did the original jumping on trampolines and everything, she wanted to go indoor rock climbing or mountain climbing, whatever you want to call it, where, they put on the harness and then they have the safety thing that they attach to, and they get to climb up on their own, and you don't have to belay them. It automatically slows them down if the descent is too fast. And I love that this is what she wanted to do while the other kids just wanted to hop up and down, but she's in gymnastics and they do that already all the time. Anyway, so while we're waiting our turn to get in, because I can only have 4 or 5 kids in at the time, I start paying attention to the other kids, what they're doing, because I'm trying to figure out what do I want to watch Viola do. And so the first thing she does, she wants to go and climb this one wall thing. I'm like, cool. Once I figured out how to undo it and attach the D-ring and everything else, then we were good to go. She climbed the first one, and I was kind of looking around, figuring out what's the next one going to be. And I noticed there was a kid that was climbing what looks like telephone poles or spaced, a few feet apart, and they would get a few feet higher every time they went. And I'm looking, thinking, okay, when she gets bored with this, where am I going to take her next? And she conquered that first wall. Then she's working on the next one. She's like 2 stories high. I'm proud dad at the moment, right? Like just inspired by how adventurous she is at this young age. And as she's coming back down a few times, I don't know if she's going to go again. So I look over and I see a kid crying, and he's kind of like stuck on the top of those telephone poles and he ain't moving. And I said something to the attendee. I said, hey, is that kid okay? And they said, yeah, he's stuck. He won't come down. We'll handle it. And I thought, okay, not a big deal. And again, because they were over kind of like in this area, I couldn't really see the kid while I was watching my daughter. So she gets done, keeps climbing. Now she's climbed like 2 stories, 3 stories. I posted a picture of her, my little daredevil, the other day, and she gets done. And as we're looking around to figure out where it is, the kid is still there. But I noticed this time an adult who walked over, a guy taller than me, he walked over, and I thought, okay, that's the kid's dad. He's good. I'll just go back to paying attention to Viola again. She climbs for a few more minutes, and she gets done. I look, and the kid is still there. So this is like 20, 30 minutes later. And I looked at Viola, and I said, I'm really proud of you for climbing everything. Can you give me a minute? Can I go check on that kid? She said yes. And I walked over, and there were 2 ladies with him now. I assume one was the mom. And I said, hey, can I help you guys? And I said, you're not allowed to climb up there. You're not allowed to get him down. I said, I wasn't planning on doing that. Are you guys cool if I step in? And they said, yeah. And I walked up and I saw the kid. He's got tears in his eyes, right? He's bawling. He's scared. He's shaking. And he's standing and he's looking down at, and even though he's harnessed in, he's been climbing everything else, he's scared to jump down or to get down because he's afraid he's going to fall. And from what I know, based on, eyebrows lead to eye contact, and eye contact is huge this day and age, I walked up to the kid and I said, look at me right here. Don't look at anything else. Don't look anywhere else. Look at me right here. I will catch you. I didn't need to catch him, but he doesn't know that. He's like, no. I said, you don't have to jump. Sit down, just scoot off the edge. I will catch you. And I didn't break eye contact with him. So even though there's hundreds of screaming kids around everywhere, right? For that short period of time, it was just 2 people. And he just scooted off. And we caught him. We got him down. And I knew he was crying. He was embarrassed, everything else. I walked over and I sat down with him. I got on his level. If you don't know anything about body language, everything else, the height is important. So he was on a thing. I sat down to be at his same height. I said, hey, man, that's awesome that you climbed up there. You gave it a shot. I know we get scared at times, but don't be afraid to go back up there. Now you know how to get down. And he went from crying to smiling a little bit. And that was it. I just got up and I went back over and watched Viola climb more. And the thing is, that sticks with me. So here we are 3 weeks later. And the day it happened, I was on a high, right? Like it's just, when you make a difference in somebody's life and you just feel alive. You just feel like you made a difference. That's where I was that day. And I thought, maybe I'll post a video about it. But here I am 3 weeks later, and it still is something that I remember. I can't tell you what I did this week at work, but I can tell you what happened with that kid. And I can almost describe every moment from there. And there's a few takeaways from that. Number one is I saw him that he was struggling, and I assumed somebody else was going to help him, right? I escalated to the kid that works there. Hey, that kid doesn't look there. I saw the other adult walk over, and I assumed that adult's going to handle it. Then I learned that you have to pay attention. And what I mean by that is we all know people who are struggling, and we just assume, and I won't say everybody, most people assume somebody else will take care of it. But what if we have the power that we can make a difference that much faster? So I encourage everybody here, if you see somebody struggling, don't just assume that somebody else is going to help them with it. If you have the power to make a difference, walk over and do it. It wasn't about me. The mom walked up later. I went back to Viola and she came over and she said, hey, thank you very much. They walked off. I walked off. There wasn't anything about it other than helping out someone who's been stuck. And we've all been there, right? But that makes a difference. And if you have the power to do that and help somebody through a tough time, why don't you just walk over and give it a shot? There's other people that are trying. You may just be another person who can't help them get past that road bump or what they're scared of. But what if you are that person? What if you just taking 2 minutes out of your time can help that person move on, right? They benefit, you benefit. There's no reason to not give it a shot. Worst case scenario, you know you attempted, you tried. But what if you make a difference in that person's life? So anyway, it's been sticking with me. Like I said, 3 weeks later, it still is in my brain like it happened an hour ago. So I want to share it with you guys. Hope you guys have a great week. Bye.